Hey guys, Will here with my friend Links.
Hey guys, we're bringing you a video this week. Like we said last week, we're gonna go back to the podcast format because William and I both said we preferred that. It allowed flexibility, so that's what we're doing again.
Yeah, we don't have to rush through topics. We just
Yes, so in the nature of that, we have a few announcements, and I guess I'll do my announcement and you can do yours. I mean, I didn't even know about the one you said, so I'll let you do
okay.
that. So Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga, which if you've been watching for a little bit, I've said that's like my first video game I ever played was like it was like maybe it was the complete series, Lego Star Wars, the complete series or something.
hmm
That's like my first video game I ever played, so that really resonates with me, and I'm definitely getting it. It's coming out in spring, which is a little disappointing, but it is good to have news on it.
Yeah,
And more importantly, I think we have some bigger news that William is about to share.
yeah. So this is something that I think both me and Lincoln care about because, well, first of all, it kind of relates to some of our first videos. So I think that's a reason why. But we're also big fans of DC. So they announced a little bit ago, I don't know exactly when, but DC Fandom is going to be taking place October 16th. So that's pretty exciting because they're gonna
So
show more with Black Adam for sure,
I'm sure
and hopefully
Aquaman,
more with Batman too.
I'm sure Aquaman, the new Aquaman movie as well.
hmm
Flash probably, which I'm not too excited for Flash, but
Probably gonna show more for their games too. So
yes, especially Gotham Knights. What was hopefully Injustice.
and
I
there's
would
also the
freaking love that if they showed Injustice.
yeah, and then there's also the Suicide Squad game.
Yes, I forgot about that one.
One thing I
Black
actually
Adam.
heard, not to just like burst your
Sorry.
bubble or anything about the Injustice 3, but actually I heard some things saying that MK12 is next game actually instead, which would be weird.
That is weird because
It could be though. I don't know. I'm not sourced well. Maybe.
I
It's just
mean,
an idea I heard.
yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard they're gonna just drop Injustice entirely. Um, I don't know. I'm just hoping it gets announced because I feel like, especially after MK11, they need a break to regroup
Yeah,
because they kind of did some wacky stuff with that game.
they did.
Um,
So I guess that's it
so
for
wait,
announcements.
I don't know about you, but last DC fandom, I got a shirt.
You did. I remember we talked
Yes.
about that.
So if they have another DC fan, I'm sure I'm definitely getting that, and I'd love to make that an annual thing.
Just you getting a shirt from DC fandom.
Yes, I don't know why, but
Hey
I just
man,
think that would be fun.
if that's what you're up for. Yeah. So let me hear this trivia question. I haven't
So
heard it yet.
this week we're going to be kind of, I, I guess it's one cohesive topic, kind of, but I guess it's the same general concept, but it's like two topics. We're going to be talking about uh, a character breakdown of John Walker, which we said we'd do a while ago, and also a character breakdown of Loki.
Yeah.
So, in the nature of the MCU, I have a question based on the MCU.
Okay, here we go.
So, William, you know how there's like phases within Marvel?
hmm
So, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, I don't remember what's in each of the phases. So, here's my trivia question. What is the last movie to come out in phase two?
Oof. Um, okay.
Do you need a
The
hint?
early the earlier phases are more difficult to remember. Um, Gosh, I don't even remember where the first one ended. I think the first one ended with the Avengers movie, maybe. Um,
Um,
the
I
second
think
one,
you might be right in that. Yes, you are right in saying that.
I am right in saying that. Okay, good. Um, I'll give some time for people to go ahead and comment,
Yes,
but
comment down below. What do you think the last movie to come out in Phase 2 was? Which, if I told you the first movie in Phase 3, it would probably make it a little bit better. But I'm gonna save that just in case.
for some reason, I'm thinking Phase Two. It's not Age of Ultron, 'cause I feel like that was earlier on. Phase Two,
Age
maybe.
of Ultron is in Phase 2.
Yeah. Um, I have for some reason, I feel like it's Black Panther or Doctor Strange for some reason. Um,
Okay,
yeah, I'm gonna say one of those
so
two.
I'm gonna tell you you're wrong
Okay, fair.
because that's Phase 3.
It's
The
Phase
first
Three.
movie in Phase 3, this is just a hint, is Captain America: Civil War.
Oh, oh. Okay, so the first one, Phase Three, is that. Is it Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3 is the first movie in Phase 3 or 2, I think.
Really?
Yes, but Age of
Oh
Ultron,
man.
so the movies in between Age of Ultron and Civil War. So you got the one before it and the one after it now. Do you know what it would be?
Man, this is so bad.
No, no, it's not bad at all. Once I say
Um,
it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that was pretty." I feel like it's gonna be pretty obvious because I'll tell you why in a minute. But
it's not
do you have any
Spider-Man,
guess?
that's after Civil War. Um, why can I not think about this right? Okay, I think it is Captain America. No, it's not. It's not. It's not gonna be Winter Soldier. That's not right. Oh man, why is this? It's not Black Panther, not The Strange. It's not those movies.
Think about just Civil War in general. Like, think about. I don't know if that will help. It would help me, but I'd probably be in the same position as you if I was asked or you were asking me the question.
It's not Thor Dark World.
No. Okay, so
I give
I'm
up.
gonna tell you the answer. It's Ant-Man.
Uh, Ant-Man. That what? Oh, I forgot. He's
Yes,
in
because
Civil
he's in
War.
Civil War. That's why I thought the
Oh,
Civil War would help. But
I was going through the characters and I didn't even think about him being there. I thought of Black Panther. I thought of Spider-Man. I thought of Hawkeye, War Machine. Pretty much, I thought of everyone except for Ant-Man. I forgot he existed.
but Age of Ultron was very close, and that was a good guess.
Hopefully, our people who are commenting, if anyone comments, are smarter than me.
I mean, that was a pretty tough one because I feel like Ant-Man was ahead of its time, so it feels like a later movie kind of.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool just looking back.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Ant-Man, just I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but that last What If episode was pretty crazy.
That was pretty crazy. Did you see today's yet?
I haven't seen today's yet.
So today is the one that came out with Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I know this is probably going to be posted in the future, but as of recording this video, the Doctor Strange episode came out and is probably the best episode that's come out so far.
Ooh.
So it's pretty cool.
But yeah. Okay. So
So, what character do you want to break down first?
I think we should do John Walker.
Okay, I feel like that's fair enough.
So I say we begin this with talking about, like, first let's talk about what they're in. So he's a character that pops up in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I almost said the Captain.
I always do that. I always say that, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, no, Falcon and Winter Soldier."
Yeah. So I almost made that mistake. But yeah,
Oh,
so
by the way,
yes.
if you haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if you've not seen Loki, there's obviously gonna be spoilers for both of these.
Yeah.
So, watch them and then come back to this video because 'cause we're
No,
gonna
no,
be
no, no,
breaking
no.
down the
Watch
characters.
them, the watch a review, then come back to this. Come on,
Oh,
Lincoln.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah, come on.
Um, sorry, you can continue.
Yeah, so it takes place in that show, and I think we both really like this character a lot. Um,
Mhm.
he comes in kind of okay. The first time they show him, he comes in as like an antagonist, as like a dishonor, right? So you're supposed to have like a poor taste in your mouth when you see him for the first time, right?
Yes.
Which definitely set him up for people to hate him for sure. And I think because of that rough start, people still hate him after the show. But I think it kind of like had an opposite effect where you and me, Lincoln, actually like his character and like
Yes.
him.
I thought that was the best part of the show, actually,
Yeah, I agree.
which is crazy because he's an antagonist or one of them.
He's he takes the role of like an antagonist, but he's weird because he doesn't follow the like archetype of a fallen hero or a redeemed villain because he's kind of both at the
He's
same
an
time.
anti-hero, I'd say.
What'd you say?
Anti-hero,
Yeah, yeah,
kind of.
anti-hero. I would say that because he, I don't know. I would say he's an actual hero in my
I
opinion.
I would too.
So I don't.
So,
I'll
I
let you
guess
talk.
never mind, you can talk. I was getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, it's just because like his story is more like him being a hero or like a regular guy who's trying to be a hero, and he comes across as too aggressive, too violent. But in my opinion, he's still a hero, even though some people might call him an anti-hero or say he's actually a villain. So
Yes. So, I guess the thing that intrigued me about him was just, like, they did such a good job. I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was not a good show by any means. That was my least favorite out of all the Disney Plus shows thus far, but,
it was a decent show.
it
I
was
know I
decent.
liked it more than you did.
Yes, you did like it more than I did. So, I'm gonna do my best to not turn this into a ranting video, but,
Hmm.
one thing that really stood out to me is, like, the symbolism they used with his character or, through him, but not so you the symbolism surrounding him and also the symbolism within his character, I would say.
Hmm.
Like, for one example, I know how American treats veterans after war because, it is a common thing that we have a lot of veterans in society with PTSD, and we kind of look down upon them because we don't understand what it's like.
I think a good scene that shows that off is the court. case scene
Yes,
with him where he's getting
agreed.
dishonorably discharged.
He's like, "You made me."
Yeah,
So,
that was
that's
such a
just
good scene.
one major thing that stood out to me. And, it's just really nice to see a character like this because William and I have said, like, time and time again about this character. This feels like a real life superhero. It doesn't feel like
Yeah,
a superhero that exists in a different world. It feels like this superhero could exist in this world because he's a good guy. He just has
very sympathetic.
struggles. Yes, and he's like, "Why don't we cut this out before any more damage happens?" Like, no,
The
that's a bad
only
analogy. I was about to say like the Fabian principle within wars. Am I doing that right with Rome? Fabian, not principle. Fabian tactic, but that doesn't really relate, so I can't say. Um,
well,
it
one
kind of
thing I
does.
feel
I'll
about
just explain it. So, like the Fabian strategy within when Rome was fighting, I think it was
it's
Greece.
Fabian tactics
Yes,
or
was
strategy. Oh,
yes, they
whichever.
wanted to deplete them slowly but surely, but the Romans were like, that's kind of stupid because it's not honorable or whatever, So they're like, okay, we're just gonna get a full frontal assault and do it the honorable way, quote unquote. And what ends up happening is the Romans take like devastating defeats and doing the honorable thing, quote unquote. Sorry, I'll
Yeah,
stop saying quote unquote. But
overdoing an attrition more.
yes, and they just go back to what was
Mm.
originally there, like the Fabian strategy. And I think that is relevant to this idea. Basically, he kills the terrorist, and the people are like, "Oh my gosh, why did you do that?" But he's doing the right thing all along, I think, because they're gonna have to end up killing him anyways.
Well, he wasn't in his either. He wasn't
Huh?
in his right mind
That's
when it was
true.
happening.
I agree with that, and I also think that's a major development within that character or something I can relate to because what normal person is just gonna like be like, "Oh, you killed my friend. Like, I'm putting you under arrest." Even though that must be so hard. I mean, of course you would do that in the right situation, but if they're terrorists and killing multiple people and then, also they just killed your best friend right in front of you, you're probably gonna be like, "Okay, you don't deserve to live." Which we don't always have that say. Like, I believe in the judicial process, right? And I don't think we are judge, jury, and executioner, but realistically, I feel like that's what most people would do. They just end
And
up killing them.
two other things. The reason why. Well, okay, the context for it. Yeah, you said, hey, this guy. Well, he thinks this guy killed his best friend. He also thinks, well, he's not really thinking straight because he has this super soldier serum coursing through his veins.
Yeah, he's
Kind
like
of,
on roids,
he's on
shaking.
roids. He's on, I forget
That
what it's
was
called,
so weird.
roid
I didn't.
rage.
Yeah, he was just like shaking like crazy, doing some weird stuff.
And then also, when you think about it, Captain America kills a bunch of people. He kills so many people, but
Yeah,
he
that is
doesn't do
true.
it in public like that.
Yes, and then the blood on the shield was just like so like awesome
Demoralizing.
because it's
I would
like
say.
yeah, but also it was just a really cool scene because it's like I know
I mean,
I'm
I
trying to
agree.
trying to think of the best way to say this. It's like
It's symbolic because
it is
when
symbolic,
his
but
character is just really symbolic because the first time you see him, he's coming out with the shield as seen as a replacement, dishonoring Sam, the Falcon, and also dishonoring the previous Captain America.
yes, but I okay, so this could be a
Then
symbol of
he
it,
kills
and
someone with it.
this is what I think the price of freedom
Mhm.
Does that make any sense? I feel like that could be a symbol for it because, America has fought, like, in all these wars, and, like, a lot of times we take the freedoms we have for granted, but the freedom has left, like, a permanent stain on our like, on us as people because we've, like, gone in and killed a bunch of people in certain places, and maybe we shouldn't have, maybe we should have, but freedom is not free, it always takes blood to acquire, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's just what I viewed it as.
Another thing is his role, and also the shield, just the shield in general
Mhm.
has major value in the actual show.
Yes.
And like they even have a huge fight because of the shield. Like it wasn't even because like the reason why US Agent, well, Captain America at this point, because he hasn't been discharged yet. After he kills the terrorist on live in front of like a bunch of people, and he has the blood all over his shield, which is a really good scene. The next episode, he's running away, trying to cool his head off, and he has the shield with the blood on it, and then Falcon and Bucky pop in, trying to take it, right?
Yeah.
And to him, the shield, the the name Captain America meant so much to him, and he didn't want to lose it because he
Yeah,
was inspired and was trying to inspire other people as Captain America.
that's true. And, I guess the reason you and I like this character so much is just what again, reiterating all the symbolism behind him, just because there's so much, like, takes on society, takes on, like, everything, like, people. It's just insane what you could get from this character, and I feel like he's a very dimensional character in that sense, like, a lot I've criticized the Marvel or the MCU within the past few years of being very, like, archetypical, like, they're following the same thing, over and over again, and it just get boring because you have these 2D characters that are very flat, and you're like, "I don't really have relation to them." And, of course, a lot of those 2D characters are getting expansions now, like Scarlet Witch and Vision, which I really did enjoy, but I do appreciate that we have these three-dimensional characters in a sense because we can relate to them more so.
You know, one thing about that show, um, so with Wanda Vision, they did a good job of making the characters better and have the fans actually like those characters more. Because to be honest, before the show, I didn't really care for Scarlet Witch or Vision, but now I actually really like them. And with this show, it kind of like it gave scenes where like you got in touch more with like Bucky and Sam, where Sam was, they gave him his sister's family, and they
Yes, but
tried to
also
expose some issues. And then Bucky,
also
they gave the like redemption thing for him, but the show kind of got stolen by U.S. Agent, in my opinion,
yeah.
because they
Oops,
made
sorry.
him more important, kind of in my eyes, like his issues, his life, because he talked to like a bunch of people in the show compared to like everyone else.
Yeah, I totally agree because though they were trying to create some dimension behind those characters, I feel like it fell flat in many places. I didn't care about a lot of that stuff, like, watching it, I was like, "Okay." Like, I just wanna see the Winter Soldier be really cool, and he's not being cool, you know? Because that's
Yeah,
always I mean, of course, he can have the grief and whatever, but it was not handled very well in my opinion, and the same with Falcon, it's just his family was cool in some aspects, but also at the same time, it wasn't I wasn't very connected to it. I didn't
Wasn't
feel.
good enough.
Yes. But with John Walker, I felt super connected just because I can relate to feeling like acting on emotions, you know?
Hmm.
Because
He's
that's
more
all
human.
part. Yes, that's all part of who we are. I mean, you're gonna act on emotions until you grow up a little bit, right? And maybe we're trying to do the right thing and maybe we're not doing it right, but and maybe we're not good enough for, or maybe we don't feel like we're good enough for to be called this thing, but we still have to be this thing. And that's very like it's a really cool message if you look into it. It's like because a lot of times we are called to do stuff and we have no clue how to do it, but we're still expected how to do it or to do that thing. And it's just very it connects very well with a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, and I think he really stole the show. I mean, he's the best character. If he's not the best character, Zemo is.
That is true. Zemo was also very good in that show.
Really, that show did more for the villains, except for, not that Flag Smashers, those guys suck, but like good villains, which some people see U.S. Agent as a villain because the whole Lady Hydra thing, and and then Zemo. So, I mean, I think they did good with that.
So I do, even though he's not technically, I know he's technically called a villain, but I do consider him a hero, like we talked about. But if he is a villain, he is definitely my favorite villain in the MCU.
John Walker's.
Yes. If he's considered a villain, so I'm just using it that way, even though we consider him a hero.
He, I mean, power wise, he's pretty weak compared, but like his arc and his character, I get it.
I
Like
mean,
you would never choose him to win in a fight.
you can have a really powerful character, and that doesn't make the story good, you know?
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of it is character development because I don't feel like,
Just
I
ask
mean,
Thanos.
yes, but like Thanos was an effective character, but he was also kind of a weird character in a sense. Like he was not my favorite. Um,
I liked him more
but he
in
was
the
still
Black
good.
Panther. What if?
That was kind of funny.
It was good. It was good.
Um, looking back, this is just really weird. One of my favorite villains is Ultron. And I know a lot of people are against Age of Ultron and they're like, "Oh, that was a bad movie. It didn't perform as well." But like I've been saying this and William can attest to this. You need to go back and watch Age of Ultron because it's crazy how much better it gets once you realize what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not like the best movie ever, but it gets better in my opinion. But I don't know. I guess I know we're missing a lot of symbolism on this character and if you like feel like we missed something like, "Oh, John Walker is cool because of this," comment it down below because we'd be happy to hear even if you're like, "Oh, I don't like John Walker because of this." That's still valid. I mean, you don't have to like every character we like. We're just doing a character breakdown on him because we like him a lot. But
Yeah.
I also think it's cool how they kind of
So they.
sorry for this, they didn't really. They kind of played into like his intelligence a little bit
In what
because he
way?
was not really, but never mind. I'm not going to say that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's stupid because yeah, never mind. I wish they would have played into his intelligence a little bit more because apparently he got like this really high score. That's what I was thinking. Sorry. on like this test or whatever. I wish they would have played into that, but Marvel doesn't like to play into intelligent characters. I don't know why.
Yeah, they don't.
But do you have anything else to say about him?
Not really.
I know I feel like we said a lot. I'm excited to see him in the Dark Avengers. Just I feel like that's gonna be awesome.
Let's hope.
Oh, and especially at the end, he kind of redeems himself by like working with other heroes. So I don't think he's a villain, but
Really an
okay.
opinion thing.
I mean, he's a very polarizing character. That's what I like about him so much.
Man, I just ate something really spicy. Oh,
Okay, William.
okay. Cool.
Are you
Ugh.
okay? Can we continue?
Yes, we can continue.
Hey guys, we'll be back in a little bit. William needs a break.
Oh, no, we're good. We
I'm just
can
kidding.
steamroll. Okay,
So
so
I guess
I guess that's it for him.
yes, because we got a lot of the major points in like a weird way. We kind of just went
Yeah,
all over the place, but I guess
scatterbrain.
that's how I am as a person. You'll know that if you watch this. William is more like, okay, the episodes are like this, like that, and I'll be like, okay, episode whatever, like way down the line.
Yeah,
But um, I don't know. Very good character. One of my favorite characters within MCU. Happy. I'm like really excited to see what they'll do with him.
yeah.
Now I guess we're going on to Loki. So
I think this is more my domain, probably.
I would totally agree. Just because William, mm, not that I don't like Loki. Loki's an awesome character, but William likes Loki more than I do.
Especially now.
Yes.
The show, all these shows have been doing good for these characters, like for their
I
characters, except
I,
for Captain America and Winter's. No, it's Falcon, the Falcon, and Winter Soldier.
I agree.
So,
Um
so I think the best way to start for Loki is talk about where he's at the beginning. So this is not
so the beginning of the show or like in general as a character.
beginning of the show. So this is
Okay.
not the Loki we know and love. This is this is the bad Loki. Yeah, this is a bad Loki. He comes from at the end of the first Avengers movie, has no really redeeming qualities at this point, but a lot of people liked him after the first Avengers movie, even though he kind of like sucked.
It gave us one of the best moments in the MCU where like Hulk is smashed around Loki.
Yep, puny god. But he basically is from right after that point. He doesn't have Dark World's Loki getting slightly more sympathetic. He doesn't have Ragnarok's comedic likability, even though Lincoln doesn't like them.
Mm.
Um, and he doesn't have Infinity War's sacrifice in it. This is just him, like just right after he tried to take over the world and just
Manhattan, right?
got in Manhattan and got just slapped.
It is Manhattan, right?
Or just New York, I guess. I don't know.
Or the world, I guess.
I think it's the world. but he started in New York. But yeah, so this is the worst version of him, to be honest, because I actually like his character in the first Thor movie. Um, and it's kind of like the worst point that he's at. And he starts off with this. Of course, at this point, he's arrogant, thinks he's above everyone because he's a quote unquote god, and he thinks everyone should just bow to him, right?
I mean, he is a god,
Quote unquote god.
but he does have that mindset of like,
I am a god is his mindset.
yes.
So when he gets introduced, he gets thrown into a world that is leagues above like anything he's ever experienced or will experience in his life, as it was predetermined. And he gets thrown into the TVA because of bad plot. He was thrown into it. Now there's a bunch of plot holes, but anyways, he's shown his future. He's asked. He has great chemistry. This character Mobius. He gets asked like, "Do you like hurting people? You know, do you like killing people? Do you get actual enjoyment out of this?" And and he has his facade, his mask on, and he's like, "Oh, I'm above everyone," and this and that. But in truth, you see later after he realizes how insignificant he is, like he realizes that everything that happens to him in the future, and he kind of just like breaks down and is like, I don't like hurting people. He just doesn't like to be alone. And the main story for Loki, I would say, with his show is it shows how alone Loki's plural are and how much they seek love and attention because of their loneliness. And
Yes, I would agree with that.
I've been talking for a while. Do you want to give a take?
On what you just said,
Yeah.
um, I guess I have never thought about it as that's Loki from Avengers. I always thought like this is the Loki, so that does change the character a little bit for me.
Okay. That's good. That's
Just
good.
because like, I was like, okay, we've seen Loki like this, but he's not the same Loki. He is that arrogant Loki.
Yeah.
But I really, gosh, it's so hard to say anything because you got to discount so much about the character in order to understand this character, which
Yeah.
is weird. Which is weird.
He's complex. He's complex. That's it, man. He's a very complex character.
Very
He's
true.
he's the main character, and he's the protagonist of the show. It's just him discovering how out of his league he is, and him just trying to cope with his true self, I guess.
Yes.
Because he's confronted in the show with multiple versions of himself. Now, no matter how those characters themselves acted, they all had one major flaw, which is pointed out by classic Loki, who's just an MVP of the episode he was in. Um, Classic Loki says that they're all just betraying each other and they're all lonely and they'll never be able to work together, you know, because
Yes, but
they've
that
been set on this course.
but that really shows like how much character development happened between the movies Loki was in.
Yeah,
I mean, Loki is a really interesting character because he is like you never know what he's gonna do or what he's gonna say, but it was kind of like you could never trust him,
yeah.
which is really interesting for a character because you're like, huh, I don't know what's gonna happen next. Like, is he gonna go against this or is he gonna go with this?
And excuse me. You see in the very beginning of the show, like the first half of the show, let's say until he meets what's her name? What is her name? Sylvie? Is that it?
Yes.
He meets Sylvie, and after Sylvie and Loki like actually get to know each other, from the point where the show starts and they actually get to know each other on like that train ride, he is acting a particular way where he wants to take over the TVA, be a god, you know, be in charge of all of it. He wants to be in charge of TVA. He wants to overthrow it. He wants to make Sylvie like his minion, kind of, and or work with Sylvie to destroy the TVA, right? But then
Yeah.
after they meet, they talk about each other's lives a little bit, and he's so narcissistic that he falls in love with himself. Um, it changes him as a person because he finally has someone, you know, someone
Yeah.
that won't leave him or not trust. Well, not trust. I think that's something that's always going to happen. But he has someone that
So
he can rely on.
this is what this kind of reminds me of. Like, do you have a friend who like is really scared of getting in close relationships with people?
No,
I have a friend that's that way. And
feel bad for that person.
just because it is like a psychological thing, like it's usually common with like divorced parents or like, if you're abused or something.
Makes
So
sense.
basically, it creates this mindset of the people I'm going to get close to are just going to let me down. So why should I get close to anybody? And that
Mhm.
scares them. And that's kind of what Loki reminds me of. Like just someone who has that mindset. Like everybody I know is going to let me down. So why should I get close to them? And why should I want them to be like close to me? I guess
Yeah.
because it's like a matter of trust, which he's not a very trusting character. So he cannot form close relationships like that.
And by the end of the show, he does, he forms, I think, a really close relationship with Mobius, which kind of makes the ending pretty sad, in my opinion. I cared so much about Mobius. So
Eh,
sad. Um, like the end where he just doesn't even know who Loki is. I
that's
mean,
true.
that's sad, in my opinion. Because he lost the one. Because what's the first thing he did? He did after Sylvie betrayed him, I guess, or
Wasn't it
sent him
Find
away.
Mobius?
Yeah, the first thing he did was go and try to find Mobius. Yeah, sorry, Mobius.
Mobius.
Yeah, Mobius. I did that on purpose. So he goes to find Mobius. Mobius doesn't know who he is. Now, who does Loki have?
No one.
No one.
I mean, but that is, like I said, that is kind of fitting for his character because that's
It
how he was
is.
in the beginning.
That's how they're destined.
Because the people that are like that think everybody's going to let him down and they're not going to have anyone. And at the end of the day, he did not have anyone. So it is very fitting for the character.
He starts alone, ends alone.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the whole thing where Lokis are destined to be alone, you know?
Mhm.
And you see this with Sylvie, who can't trust Loki, and she can't let go of her pain, her trauma. And so she pretty much dooms everybody. Um, and Loki cared for her, he loved her, but she sent him away, so he doesn't have her anymore. And then Mobius doesn't have anymore. It's just unfortunate because it's not even because Loki doesn't want friends or he doesn't want to rely on people because he does.
Sorry, this is a really ADHD thing. Or just, like, all over the place.
Yeah.
So you remember when I said, like, Rome was using the Fabian strategy to defeat the Greeks?
Okay.
It was actually Hannibal, I'm pretty sure.
No, I didn't even hear you say Greeks. I just thought you said when you were
So,
using it.
incorrect. Just forget that. I was listening, but I just wanted to fix that.
Okay.
Okay.
Noted. Yeah. I mean,
I'm
that's
sorry. I know you were, like, getting really deep in this stuff, and I was just like, "You know what? What I said, like, 20 minutes ago was wrong."
well, okay. But yeah, I mean uh as you can tell, I'm very passionate about Loki.
I mean, you're starting to convince me, like, this is a better character than I thought, because I haven't really thought that hard into it, because I harbor something against Loki, even though I don't have, like, a good reason to.
Yeah, I mean, I like okay, so Loki as a character, I don't like Avengers him. I don't like Dark World. Okay, so Loki is a character because this is a character analysis. We're not talking about just Loki from the show Loki. Let's
Okay.
get that out of the way here, okay? Loki as a character. First Thor movie. Take your mind all the way back.
Okay, I'm trying.
So he cares for Thor. He likes him, right? He likes his life for the most part, but he wants to be king, right? He wants to be the
Have
heir.
what his brother has.
He wants what his brother has. He's jealous. So he sets up events for his brother to fail, and the whole time Loki in the movie comes across as, you know, bad because he's setting up his brother for failure and he's trying to take everything. But in the
So,
movie,
another thing is you can relate that to Jacob and Esau in a sense,
yeah,
which if you're not familiar with the story of Jacob and Esau, I think okay, basically one of the brothers tricks the father into giving, him the inheritance rather than his other
using Bunny for
yes, his other brother, and then basically stuff gets down on luck, and then later in life, they meet each other again, and he's like, "Oh crap, my brother's gonna kill me," but his brother forgives him and welcomes him back as a, like, family member, so I it does kind of follow the arc of Jacob and Esau.
it does. I didn't even think about it that way. But um so the two things you see from Loki in the first movie is, all the bad things he's doing to his brother, but he's also on his own journey of self-discovery, self-discovery, where
Discovery.
he
Yeah.
finds out that he is frost giant. He's a frost giant. Now, I don't know how Asgardian magic works at all, but
It's
like I
more
don't know
hard.
how doesn't look like a frost giant. Who I don't know. But he finds out his heritage and he tries to get frost giants into Asgard. and take it over. And then he loves his adopted father, right? And they get into an argument about his heritage, and then Odin goes into his Odin sleep. And you could tell he really cares about Odin. So you see he cares about what he is because of his heritage, but yet he still defines himself as a god of Asgard. So that's something to his character. He cares for his
Yes.
father, he cares for his brother, but he and but in Asgard, but he cares more about what he wants, what he thinks he's entitled to. And that's his flaw. If Loki didn't care about like his uh, if he wasn't after power and authority, he might even like create a peaceful, like I don't know, way for frost giants and Asgardians to work together.
Yes, like,
Could you imagine that?
that would I can't imagine that. But that's a really interesting part of his character is he could do so much, but he's not utilizing himself to the full potential.
Yeah. And
Wh
then he fakes his death at the end of the movie. So that's the first time he fakes his death. Next time you see him is in Avengers. You find out he made a deal with Thanos to use I forgot what it's called. He's using a stone, but I mean it's like the scepter. He uses the scepter.
isn't the
Um
Mind Stone.
something. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but he uses power. He's like, "Hey, I'll take over Earth for you. I can do this." And then this is, in my opinion, the weakest Loki we see. I don't mean like strength wise. I mean character wise. Because there's
Oh,
nothing
in
to it.
Avengers,
Yeah, and Avengers. There's
I
nothing
would
to it.
agree.
It's just him. The whole only thing he ever does is just like, hey, humans are weak, you want to be dominated. And then flashbacks to him getting power. And then he attacks New York. And then he gets beat up by Hulk and everyone. And then that's it.
But this is a very typical Marvel theme, I guess, is the arrogant character until the humble character. Most commonly, I think it's done with Iron Man,
Hmm.
but it's also done with Doctor Strange and Loki.
For sure, Doctor Strange. At this moment, after Avengers movie, not with Loki, but in both versions of him, the one that goes through like the path he's supposed to go and one that gets captured by TVA, they both I don't you know what? I don't think he gets humble in the current version.
You don't think Loki is humbled?
I think okay, in a way he is because, he
I see
realizes
what you're
how much of a
saying.
small fish in this large ocean he is, right? But he still has the way he acts like he's still above everyone, you know? He
That
just
is true.
cares more about people in general.
I would agree with that.
Where in the other version, Dark World happens, turns out he led his mother, he led his mother's killer to his mother, which hurts him. He quote unquote sacrifices himself for Thor later in the movie. Second faked death.
Yes, but also I think another part of Loki's character, I know you haven't gotten to this,
Hmm.
is when he does get the power, he realizes it's not everything he knew it to be.
In what
Because,
way?
like, remember when he like fakes himself as Odin,
Yeah.
and he gets to be that way. he realizes, hey, this is not everything I thought it would be.
Does he?
I think so. Like he's like a person that's like, I mean, he seems chill and whatever as faking himself as Odin, but also at the same time, it doesn't seem like he seems fulfilled.
I think he seems pretty fulfilled when it's this guy as Odin.
Really?
I think so.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is I feel like he feels more fulfilled at an end game. Like
Fulfilled in a different way, I would
he
say.
might think he's fulfilled, but he's not. And you can kind of tell that from his like actions and whatever. Like he's just eating grapes and doing whatever, he's just having fun as opposed to like he's sacrificing himself for the greater good.
Well, you know what? I agree actually, because literally when he's pretending to be Odin, he has a play where Matt Damon playing Loki is sacrificed for the greater good of Asgard. So he is a hero. He's a fallen hero.
Yeah, he wants to be seen as a hero, and he gets to do that at the end and change everybody's perception on him at his end, I should say.
Well, there's not really anyone to remember him, but
That is also true.
besides Thor, which you know, I'm gonna say there's two versions of Loki, right? Not even like just the movie version. You see two versions. You have classic Loki, and then you have I don't know, TVA Loki. If you follow all the steps of Loki, he ends up as classic Loki.
Yes, I would
And
agree
classic,
with that.
because classic Loki, um, I mean, what happens is, let me go back to going over like each movie, right? So after he sacrificed, quote unquote, sacrificed himself for the second time, and at the end of Dark World, he takes over his own, like disguise himself. Just the love for his father is kind of gone in the beginning of the third Thor movie, but then it comes back after they see his father for like the last time,
That is
or
true.
Odin, because like at the very beginning he's just like, "Okay, I just sent Odin to like a retirement home, basically," and then they go there and the retirement home is gone. Then they meet him, and Odin has no ill will towards either of his sons. He loves them. Then he goes, and then Hela appears, which kind of gives Loki an interesting position because he was where Hela was in the first movie, right?
That is true.
Where like now he's not the evil brother, he's just the untrustworthy brother, you know?
Yes,
And being in the position that Thor was in the first movie brings him and Thor closer together until eventually like they have that touching moment where he's like, "Oh, if you were here, something, something, something," and Thor throws him something, and he catches it, and he's there. It's a touching stuff because he loves his brother, and his brother is actually the only thing he has left in that moment, and so he dies for his brother. You know,
that is true. But I
but
do think
then
it's important to look at the alternate timelines of Loki to see where he'll end up.
yeah. So for classical Loki, is if Loki in his third death sacrificed himself for like the third time, or the second time. He fakes his death for a third time. Then he goes off and lives by himself. But he's so lonely and he wants to see his brother, the only person he had left. And then he gets captured because he left and tried to go be with people. Then you have Kid Loki, was just like him killing Thor when they're little.
Yes, that was insane.
He I don't know, he's not very much of a character.
I would agree with that. I'm
He's
just
just
mainly
kind of like,
talking about, like, it's important to look at how the main Marvel timeline Loki differs from this Loki to see what this Loki will become.
well, yeah, okay, okay. Well, the other,
I mean, as well as looking at classic Loki.
well, the main movie timeline Loki completes his redemption by sacrificing himself for his brother.
That's true.
Now he completes like his story. That's his story. The other version, you know, instead of attaching his emotions and loneliness to his brother, because this is Avengers Loki, he attaches it to himself, basically, to Sylvie,
Yes.
and a little bit to Mobius. But he cares about the common man more than he ever did, I think, in this version, because he just cares more for people. The other Loki, in the main timeline, mostly just cared for his brother, you know?
It's true.
And so I think this Loki, the alternate Loki, is, if anything, more focused on saving life itself, like, the timeline, saving the universe, saving the multiverse, you know,
Yes.
over just one person.
I
Because,
think
yeah,
I really think he's a good character. Like, just in general, like, I know, like, beforehand, I was like, "Oh, we're doing a thing on Loki," but now as, like, we're talking out about it, I really do think that he's a really significant character.
there you go. My job's done.
So
So if you
William
guys
can
like the video,
continue.
make sure to like and so I'm just joking. But well, what were you saying?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not sure.
You like
So
Loki now?
I guess down in the comments below, who do you like more, John Walker or Loki?
Oh, okay. But let
Are you
me.
gonna be on William's side or my side?
I don't know.
All right, sorry,
Um,
William, you can finish.
I could finish now. Yes, we're not actually ending the video yet. Um, I would say this current version. It depends what they do with him in season two, because they could put him in two different directions. Either he stays on his path of like just trying to fix the universe for everyone, because he doesn't seek power anymore. You know,
Yeah.
because he doesn't care for it because he found out there really isn't any true power besides that position that Kang offered him. He doesn't even want it though because of like the power aspect, but because the world would go into chaos, you know.
Yes.
And they could either put him on the path of freeing the people, for the people, or they could put him on the path of where he's like, oh, I need to fix everything to get to Sylvie, to find Sylvie, for Sylvie, to redeem Sylvie, you know? Which, if
Yes,
they
I do
did
know
that,
what you mean.
I would not like it as much, in my opinion.
Um, yeah, I do agree with that. Um, gosh, what was I gonna say? I think it was really cool. I know this isn't really within this universe, but I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Did you watch last week's episode on? Yes, you did. We talked about this. Seeing Loki.
Yeah, at the end.
Yes, so you can really tell he has a genuine care for his brother just by the
Hmm.
fact of like he was like very upset about his brother being killed. He was like,
Though
okay,
I think it was even more of like he was just using his brother as a justification for control.
well, that could be true also, but I interpret it in the way of like, okay, you killed my brother, we're gonna have some problems.
I don't know. For some reason, I see it as just him being like he does care for his brother, but I see it more as like him just going for control
That
over
is
like doing it
possible
because he loves his
because
brother.
that is Avengers Loki.
Yeah.
So very possible, but I don't know.
Well, it's Avengers Loki if Thor had never gone back. So like
Yes.
if Loki won.
So is it Dark World Loki? Or no, Dark World is after Avengers, isn't it?
Well, he's like if what if it's basically a what if Loki won. That's who this is. What if Loki won in Avengers and or the first one, you know?
Yeah,
Without without Thanos' help.
that's true. Um, I guess I don't really have any much more to say on Loki.
I don't think I have anything more to say either. I've kind of gotten it out of my system.
It's kind of weird because usually we just talk and we usually have a lot more to say. We just end it, but we like said everything we wanted to say, I think.
Yeah,
So I guess we can move on to another topic possibly if we have one, if we have enough time.
if we have enough time, like 21 minutes.
Why don't we do something like this? Your opinion on this, your opinion on that.
Okay. Why Falcon and the Winter Soldier sucks? Go. I'm just joking. Um,
That's gonna be too long.
I don't know. We could just do a what's your opinion on the What If series so far?
Ooh, that's a good one. So the What If series,
I haven't seen the Doctor Strange one yet, but
so the What If series I have, besides the Doctor Strange one, I have not liked so far.
I thought you characterized the show in a good way. I don't know if we
Yes.
talked
Oh,
about it like
I was about to say that.
on the recording or if we just were talking about it, but the way you talked about it was it's not a what if, it's what should, right?
Yes. And that's what they're making it, which I don't like at all. But the Doctor Strange episode is different.
Mhm.
So
What was
it
the first one? The first what if? It was the Captain Carter, right?
yes, and that was my least favorite one, just because Captain America is like the ideal person and it's like acting like he's not, which T'Challa Black Panther I don't think is the ideal thing either, but also at the same time you never know. It is T'Challa.
It is T'Challa. Yeah, I think the Captain Carter one, the weak part was Captain Carter.
I would
I
agree.
liked War Machine. I liked that, or the Hydra Buster, or whatever the heck they
Yes.
called it,
I was like, what? I
Hydra
don't think it's
Stomper,
called War Machine.
Hydra Stomper, right? Is that what it was?
Yes.
But, I like that. I like Stark in it. The only thing is just like Captain Carter. It made it seem like she was going through more issues than Captain America did because she was a woman, which would happen, right? But
Yes,
nothing she experienced was. I mean, she experienced exactly what Captain America experienced when he first showed up, right?
that's
You,
true.
you know, he was gonna be used as like a puppet, like for the tours, and then they even mentioned that, and then Captain America or Steve Rogers, just Steve Rogers, told Captain Carter, "At least you're not doing those tours." You
Yeah,
know,
but also it takes away from the founding of Shield.
it does because she was instrumental to that.
But that's whatever, I guess.
Yeah, who cares about Shield, right?
Yeah, who just cares about like the important stuff? But it was
Well, it's
pretty
a what if.
cool. It is pretty cool. The art style has grown on me a little bit,
Yeah,
especially in this. The Doctor Strange episode is by far my favorite, and it might be remain my favorite out of all of them, just because it's so cool.
let me read the bio for it
But
because the bios were actually interesting for each of them. Like I read the bios before like watching the show. So like let me go ahead and read these to you. One second. Having to go on Disney Plus takes a while. Do you know what the Disney Plus bundle is? I have no idea what that is.
ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus.
Okay. So let's see here. What if Captain Carter were the first Avenger? When Steve Rogers is seriously injured, Peggy Carter becomes the world's first super soldier. And then the second one was what if T'Challa became a Star Lord? The rough and tumble space pirates known as the Ravagers abduct T'Challa instead of Peter Quill. That it was funny, and I actually liked that T'Challa took that dude in the beginning. I was like, don't leave that dude behind. Take him with you. And then he actually did. So I was like, oh, okay, I like this.
What do you
Thanos is
mean?
pretty funny too.
T'Challa took the dude? I'm
Yeah, the
confused.
dude in the very beginning.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I was like, take him with you. Yeah. But I mean, it was okay. I don't like Nebula in it.
I
Cha
don't
Cha.
either.
Come on, Cha Cha. It's so weird. The third episode I liked a lot.
Third episode, what was it? It was
What if the world's what if the world lost
oh
its
yes,
mightiest
yes.
heroes? Nick
And
Fury
how was
Nick
Hank
Fury
Pym?
struggles to launch the Avengers candidates are targeted by Supervillain. At first, when I started looking into like when Black Widow started looking into stuff, I thought it was Ghost.
Oh, that's true.
But then it was Yellow Jacket.
So, William,
Yeah,
just something funny.
I sound funny.
No, just something funny. Do you remember the name of the Ant-Man we have in the MCU?
Uh it's so Paul Rudd is the actor. Hank
Because I was
Pym is the
thinking
first
about it.
one. Uh oh no.
Because I just referred to him as Paul Rudd.
Yeah, what is his name? I
Scott
don't
Lang.
Scott Lang. I yeah, I don't that's not ever like a memorable name. I know
Yeah,
Hank Pym because Hank Pym is Hank Pym.
it's just funny because everybody refers to him as like Paul Rudd.
Yeah. And then let's see, the fourth episode is what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? What if flips the script on the MCU by reimagining events from the films in unexpected ways? Why is that description so much different than every other thing?
I'm not sure.
Because it is like it just talks about like what if is, not description of the show. That means that's a good episode. That's what that means. It's gonna be a great episode.
Uh-huh. It is a
Yep,
really good episode, so you should watch it.
I should.
Um, so far, if you haven't watched What If, like, and you're like kind of on the edge, like, should I watch it? Should I not watch it? You should watch it. It's entertaining. It's
Yeah,
like 30 minutes. It's easy to watch. If you have nothing to do, then watch it. I mean, of course, if you have something to do otherwise, or if you're watching another show that's really good, by all means, watch something else. But this, I think it's worth watching, especially when it gets to the Marvel Zombies. That's going to be exciting.
that is going to be exciting.
How
Speaking
many
of something
how many
that's,
episodes are in it?
I don't know. Let me look that up while I'm talking. You know what's also easy to watch?
I know what you're going to say.
You do. Only 20 minutes for an episode.
Is My Hero.
Yeah. I feel the reason why I bring that one up in particular so much is because I really think you'd like it. Just watch like the first episode. It's on Hulu. Just watch the first episode. Episode should be English on Hulu.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Oh man, let's see. How many episodes do you think What If gonna have?
9. It has 9, I'm pretty
It has
sure.
9. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 9.
And then when does Shang-Chi come out? Gosh.
September 6th. I'm pretty sure.
September 3rd.
Oh, that's in two
That's
days.
2 days from now. Gosh. So by the time this comes out, Shang-Chi will be out.
Yeah.
So are you gonna go see Shang-Chi or like rent it?
I actually see this movie. I really
Huh?
want to see this movie.
So you are probably gonna watch this. Like, have you even seen Black Widow yet?
Um, I basically know what happens.
But you haven't
Black
seen
Widow, Black Widow goes to Russia, fights Task Master.
basically, but
Yeah, that's it, right?
so are you going to see this movie?
Probably.
Okay. So I don't know. We have to talk about
We'll
it.
talk about it. We'll
Um,
talk about.
I don't
We'll
know when I'm
discuss.
gonna see it, but we'll talk
Well, you
about it.
haven't even seen Suicide Squad yet, so
I
like,
know I'm slacking. Have you?
yeah,
What the heck? I need to
I
watch that.
watched the day it came out.
All right. Well, I'll have to
I
watch
would have liked
Suicide.
to do a character analysis of a character from there, but you know what? You haven't seen it, so yeah. No, I'm just messing
I
around.
mean, not everybody has HBO Max, William. Gosh,
I know. I
I need to
know.
get it though.
Not everyone wants to spend $30 to watch Black Widow.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I don't
not
know.
everyone has to judge someone for paying $30 to watch Black Widow as well as paying like an additional $30 to see the movie in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to judge me like that.
Okay. We'll
Okay,
see.
so I guess
See if I'll see Shang-Chi. I don't know.
before we finish this, what is your prediction on Shang-Chi? Like, how good of a movie is it going to be?
I think it's gonna be good, but not in the way we expected to be good.
I think it's going to be good, but it's going to be weird because it's going to be kind of. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be good, but I don't know how well it's going to connect to everything.
Especially now that
I'm
there's a
I'm call
multiverse.
Yes, I'm calling this now. Shang-Chi is gonna be the best movie out of Spider-Man: Far From Home, The Eternals, and Shang-Chi. I think Shang-Chi is gonna be the best out of those.
Well, it's not Far From Home. It's
Oh, sorry,
No Way
No
Home.
Way Home, whatever. It's the exact same name, basically.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um,
which is a
if
very,
I had to
very
guess, I feel like the Eternals is a sleeper. You know, like it's gonna come up without us realizing it.
that's true. But also at the same time, I feel like the reason I'm saying I think this is gonna be better than Spider-Man is I feel like they're gonna do something in Spider-Man that's gonna be like, "Ooh, you shouldn't have done that."
Yeah. I feel like if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are actually in it, then it'll be the best movie.
Possibly, but I think my I'm still keeping a safe bet on Shang-Chi, and I do think Shang-Chi will eventually become kind of like a cult classic if in that sense. Does that make
Will he
sense?
be an Avenger, though?
I know, but it's gonna be like a not like the most popular Marvel movie, but like gonna have a really solid fan base behind it.
Here's the issue: if Phase Four's villain is Kang, how is Shang-Chi gonna be involved?
I don't know. He's gonna have the 10 rings, I guess.
Same
Maybe.
with the Eternals. Are the Eternals gonna fight Kang? Probably not, right? They
I
didn't
think
fight
this is
Thanos.
more of like a world building thing.
Probably.
Like both these movies are more world building than they are advancing the Marvel storyline plot.
Yeah. Well,
All right, well, comment down below. I guess,
which movie you think is gonna be best?
yeah, or just like whatever you
Yeah.
want to say.
Say
We'd
what
be happy to
you
talk to
wanna
you.
say.
And even even though you d- even if you say you don't like John Walker, I guess I'd still be happy to talk to you. But
I guess. You
I'm
guess.
just kidding. No, it's definitely that's one reason why the character is so good in my opinion. It's polarizing, so I
Yeah, you get to
completely
argue
understand the
with
opinion.
people.
Not argue, it's just like depending on your perspective in life and your
Mhm.
perspective in general, you could not like the character or you could like the character.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well, Jinx, we'll
yeah.
see you next time.
See ya.